All right, Move Fitness, thank you so much for joining us today. Happy Thursday. I miss you. I hope you are healthy, happy, and well. Everybody is staying on course with everything that's coming out these days involved in the world. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us. We have a special guest joining me today for Chance's Coffee conversation. I have mine. I believe our special guest, Jessica Ferranda, has hers too as well. Jessica has her BS in exercise science, her CSCS. She's in the industry now for going on about 7 years, and originally from North Carolina. So, Ms.
Yep.
Jessica, tell me, how's your family doing there on the East Coast?
They're good. I mean, they issued the same thing that happened with us here. They can't go out until I believe the 1st of May. So I'm planning on actually calling them today. I haven't talked to them on the phone in about a week or two, so miss them, but they're doing good.
Well, good, because that'll be kind of one of my questions I have for you here in a second. But I got some questions for Jessica, and we're gonna kind of just have some fun today. We're gonna banter back and forth, and we're gonna let you guys out there in the audience know that this is going to be kind of mindfulness. What are we doing for ourselves and not only our homes, but, upstairs in our minds too as well, to keep us healthy. So today, my first question for Jessica is going to be, Jessica, what are you grateful for today?
Oh, gosh. I mean, the real question is, what am I not grateful for? I have a brand new home. I have a wonderful dog, my health, my family, my Move Fitness family, all my members and my team. I miss all of you guys. But for me, the biggest thing is time. I know it sounds crazy, but I've never given myself time. I've always been a workaholic, a go, go, go type of person. So I'm really looking at this at a positive mindset of this is the time to appreciate the things that I have and don't normally have the time to appreciate. So
definitely. Congratulations on your new home. Very proud of you. Myself, on Monday, I talked with Erin, and I said I was grateful for a few things, so I don't want to repeat myself. So today is going to be running water. A lot of us do not appreciate running water. There's tons of countries out there that don't have clean, fresh, available water. So, in my shower this morning, I was very much appreciating a warm shower as I was making my coffee, to join you today. I was appreciating that it was coming out of this Keurig nice and hot, washing your hands and taking baths and cooking and everything that a lot of times we forget how important this stuff is and how many people really don't have that out there in the world. So my second question for you is, who are you checking on to stay connected with today and why?
Well, one is obviously my family back on the East Coast, just because I haven't talked to them in a while. But also I want to reach out to my clients and my staff today, just to make sure that they know that I'm still a part of their process, even in this whole epidemic that's going on. Just so that way, if they need to talk or vent or come up with some ideas that they need at home, I'm still there for them. Yeah. So definitely my family, my Move Fitness family, for sure.
Smart. I am going to check on my little sister today. She is 7 months pregnant, and I'm going to make sure she is getting her steps in, because I know the last time she had a doctor's appointment, they said you need to up those steps. So Kayleen, I'm going to be checking on you here shortly and making sure you're getting those steps in. How important, now that we're kind of talking about staying connected, how important is it to stay connected to people? We're in this pandemic of, I think, in my opinion, that they kind of worded this incorrectly. I think they worded it with social distancing when I think it should have been worded physical distancing, because it is so important for us to stay socially connected, in my opinion. And I wanted to hear, kind of why you think it's so important to stay connected to people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a basic need if you really think about it. I mean, there's not one person in this world that goes a day to day without interacting with a human being. Yeah. Of course, you've got those introverts right now who are thriving right now. But by the end of this, I'm sure they're going to want to get out real quick. But for us extroverts, I mean, for myself, I'm kind of hitting the point of, all right, I need to socialize a little bit more. It's been kind of weighing on me a little bit, but it's important. I mean, you grow and you learn from people, so by eliminating people, you know, you can grow within yourself, absolutely, but I've learned so much from you. I've learned so much from so many people. And if you take that out of the equation, you know, I hit this growing plateau, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and I think people are starving right now for interaction
Yeah.
in any capacity, whether that be, you know, like we're kind of posting on Facebook, our workouts, whether that just be probably hearing somebody other than maybe their own family members talk to them, and just kind of listening in, and you know, maybe they've already rolled through the all the episodes of I think it's called Tiger King on
Oh,
Netflix.
yes.
Maybe
Oh,
everybody's already done with that, you know, and they roll through their favorite episodes on Netflix. So again, I think they're starving for that interaction to where they can feel connected to not only other people, but for us in the gym industry, you know, a total and another community that was ripped apart, ripped away from them, and how do I still be a part of something like that? So I think it's really important that, you know, you and I continue to do, you know, talks like these and workouts together, and things to where, you know, our members, our employees, our clientele can all feel still a part of something, for sure.
Yeah, keep the community strong even in tough times.
Yes, absolutely. My next question is, what expectations of normal are you letting go today? Because we are not in a normal state of kind of habits or normal state of, you know, kind of life. And what are you kind of letting go of maybe upstairs that allows you to kind of get through your day-to-day today?
Oh, a lot of my normal, like what I would be doing right now, obviously would be in the fitness club, interacting with members and my staff. I'd actually be preparing for a meeting right now if I was at work. But, you know, just letting go of that and I can't control that I'm not at work. You know, I can't control, you know, how badly I want to go back. I can't control that I can't get in underneath the bar and squat the weight that I want to. So I'm letting go of all that. And, you know, I'm taking the time to focus on what I can do and come up with new creative things at home for myself, because the creativity is brain stimulating for me. But also it's being able to provide new things for people to work out in. I mean, you guys will see some of my videos that I'll share with you guys. Some body flow work. But yeah, I'm definitely letting go of my typical routine of running around the club, you know, interacting with all my members and my staff, and I miss it, but you got to let it go, and you got to let go of the stress of it, because I can't control that. So
yeah, and that's kind of another thing I wanted to maybe add on top of that, which is maintaining still a sense of routine important, you know, because we're not in normal, and it's probably very easy for us to go into this state of, well, I guess I'll just sleep in. I guess I'll just kind of, you know, I'll just kind of mess around and stay busy, which to me, there's two things of busy, like busy with a purpose, having intention for that day. And then there's busy just kind of treading water. We're not going anywhere. We're swimming, we're treading water. We feel like we're staying busy. So talk to me about that, you know, kind of, do you think it's important to still maintain a routine, and if so, why?
Absolutely. For a couple of reasons. I mean, if you're talking about a physical routine, just a couple of days of not working out, you start losing endurance. A couple more days, you start losing strength. In about 2 weeks, you start losing muscle, and then your body fat percentage goes up. And I don't want people to feel guilty if they've been doing that, because for you guys out there, I mean, it's 100% within your control. You can still pivot. We have a month now where you can get back into what you were at before. And it will take shorter time to get there than it originally did when you first started. But even routines like getting up at the same time you would as if you were working. That's so important for me, because all of you guys know I'm a night owl. I am not a morning person. The last thing that the team out in the valley needs is a grumpy Jess for 2 weeks. So I've been setting my alarm every day, just like I would if I was going to work. I choose to get up most of the time. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I'm human. I'll sit there and cuddle with my lovely dog for an hour.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm at least making it a habit to maintain those habits. Maintaining habits is a lot easier than it is to, one, create a new habit and or restart a habit. It's not impossible, but it's a little bit harder when you have to pick it back up versus just maintaining it. So it is important to maintain.
Yeah, and I totally agree, because how many times have we, maybe with even ourselves, but we see it tons of time with our clientele who have started a gym, stopped a gym, started a gym,
Mhm.
and the thing that they were missing was consistency. Like, if
Yes.
they would have just stayed consistent, they would have seen progress. But that progress, because they didn't lose 1 pound in 1 week or 1 pound in a couple weeks, it's like, well, I'll just kind of give up. And it's really important, because I know I've fallen into a state of, you work out for so long and so hard to where I even kind of fell out of a workout routine and fell out of, doing
Mhm.
things with a purpose and with intent. And I'll kind of keep going back to that, because it would be random workouts. It would be random trainers trying to
Yeah.
kick my butt, and there was no intent or, again, purpose to the workout. So I think it's important to, again, like you talked about, maintain a schedule. And if somebody has fallen out of that over the past couple of weeks, again, we can't change the past.
Nope.
It's okay. Like you said, we have another month ahead of us. It is time to pivot and change. And that's the silver lining in it, is it is in your control. And
Yeah.
you 100% can make this adjustment right now before we get 3 or 4 weeks into this again, and you've gone almost 2 months being out of whack. So
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Consistency definitely breeds results, that's for sure.
Yeah. So
Like,
let's kind of piggyback on, we're talking about movement here a little bit, and myself, like I said, getting out of it and kind of getting back into working out. Now that we're in isolation, what are you doing to keep your body moving daily?
well, there's only so much you can do when you're um, so I make a cognitive effort to every hour or 2 hours get up off the couch. I
Yeah.
mean, there's only so much you can do in your house. Me, I like to play a lot of video games, if I'm being honest. And sometimes you'll play one game and all of a sudden you look at the clock and it's been 8 hours and you haven't moved. Trying not to do that. So I make an effort. I have an alarm on my phone that goes off every hour,
Smart.
where I'll get up. I'll take my dog on a lap or up and down the street, one just for him to get some exercise, but for myself to get some exercise. Or what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of yoga on the floor or
Yeah.
foam roll, just to get my blood flow moving. Because if you think about it, even at the gym, there are times where I'm at my computer doing some admin stuff, but then I do my hot lap, right? I get on the floor, I talk to members. I can't help myself but talk to members.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly up and down, up and down. So I'm trying to just have that same exact movement patterns here, so I don't find myself getting melted into the couch for hours.
Yeah, for sure. So you talked a little bit about getting outside with your dog. How important, or tell me about the importance, and tell the members and everybody out there in the world right now listening to us, how important it is to get outside and get that fresh air, and kind of get out of those four walls that they're living in right now.
Yeah, staying inside, I mean, you expose yourself to a lot of things where people can actually get more sick, just your typical common cold, by staying inside a lot. Like
Yes, very true.
getting vitamin D, getting that fresh air, blood flow circulating to the body, to the joints, to the muscle. Again, vitamin D will help too. It's just really important just to stay moving and staying active and just
Absolutely.
not being
Yeah.
locked up.
Yeah, I recently got some bikes donated to us from my fiance's mom, and we have loved it. That's a great thing for us, is, that social distancing that we're trying to make sure that we adhere by.
Mhm.
And, bike ride is great. We see tons of people walking their dog. We do the same, getting outside and just trying to do what we can to, again, be interactive with the outside world as much as we can, and appreciate. And that's something I think that, I started off with gratitude, and one thing that we can, really make sure that we appreciate and are grateful for, which is, those clean streets that we walk on, and the leaves that are starting to bloom on the trees, and the fresh air, and, those things, to where when you really walk outside and there's no distraction, you can really start to open your mind and open your heart and open your eyes to what's out there, and how much we really can appreciate, just that few steps right outside of our door. And again, the little birds chirping and the fresh cut grass and just those little things.
It's crazy because it's not only good for you physically, but mentally too.
Yes.
You know? They said you're allowed to go on walks. You're allowed to go outside and walk. So why not go walk down your street? You know,
our governor did not say you cannot go on walks. So
no, he didn't. And there's a soccer field across the street from my house. And I took my dog the other day and played soccer with him. And it was the greatest thing. Like, that is a pinpoint moment of pure happiness. My dog's getting older, so I want to spend as much time with him. And he just was playing goalie, and I got this awesome picture of him when I'm kicking the ball at him, and his face is all scrunched up because he's like trying to not get hit.
That's awesome. I did the same thing. You know, Megan and I took both of our dogs to the park, and we were playing some wiffle ball. And they were the greatest outfielders because they would go chase the ball and bring it back to us and, you know, allow us to kind of run around and chase them. So I totally understand that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was for the soul at that point. It was really fun. I'm about to go do it again. It was just great.
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay, so we talked a little bit about health. We talked about getting outside. Let's kind of stay on track and kind of have some fun with this next question. I'm still taking .fit. You know, I feel things. Absolutely. You know, there's lots of things that, you know, I want to eat and do. And sometimes, again, I get moving and I get going and I'm trying to stay busy and I have to make sure I get certain, you know, nutrients, micro and macros inside of me. So we'll have fun with this one. What are your top 3 .fit products and why?
Oh, that's a hard one. I love all of them so much. I'll give you actually 2 answers. One is the top 3 that I think is the most important for people, and the top 3 that is for myself.
Okay. Yeah.
As a trainer and even as a fitness manager, my Mendoza line was, of course, the multivitamin, the amino boost, as well as a form of protein. One, because you have to get all your nutrients in. You can't get it from food alone. There's no way. You need 35,000 calories to do so. And even with organic crops, you know, in this American lifestyle, we want it now, we want more, you know, the soils aren't the same, so it loses its nutrients. And then we throw things in microwave. So there's no way you're going to get all your vitamins and minerals from food alone. It's almost impossible. And there's been studies that show people who are deficient in micronutrients don't absorb their macronutrients as efficiently. Therefore, they tend to store more body fat. So multivitamin is a huge staple. Amino boost, obviously, you need amino acids. Your body makes some. You need to get some from food. It does help with recovery. I mean, we like to be sore, but we don't like to be debilitated.
Yeah.
So that's another good one. If you're a vegetarian, you should be taking the amino boost as well because you're obviously not getting your amino acids from meat. And then protein, just because it's the hardest macronutrient to get. Not everyone's going to eat chicken breast like it's a protein bar. Yeah. You know, not many people like eating meat. Me, I'm more of a red meat person, but I can't do that every single day. So getting that protein is important. So that's my staple for people, for everyone. I think is the most important within .fit. My favorites for myself would be, of course, the amino boost for the same reasons. Muscle Defender, because it's got glutamine in it, which helps support your immune system, as well as magnesium in it. And most Americans are deficient in magnesium, about 90% are. And then the Extreme Creatine XXXL. And the reason why is because I'm a performance person. I want to be able to run that extra mile. You know, I want to be able to get more volume when I'm lifting. And the way that I feel, I mean, my recovery is just so much better when I take all of the products, and especially when I take those 3 together. I feel myself recovering better in my workouts now that I've been taking it consistently, and it's a huge game changer. So
great.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And okay, so we'll wrap up with a couple more questions. So we talked about physically fit. We touched on just a little bit, you know, kind of about the mind and what we're doing. You know, how I feel like it's easy for people to kind of spiral down into maybe this negative mindset, or woe is me, and not that that's not valid. I think that a lot of people are going through a lot of tough times, and everybody's feelings, again, are valid, and everybody's situations are different. how important do you think it is to, not only make sure that the mind is sharp, but, what are some ways or some tips that that we can, kind of make sure that we stay positive?
I'm a really big believer on momentum and starting
Yeah.
the day off right and ending the day off right.
Mm,
Like I said earlier, I'm not a morning person, so I don't get up at 5 and read and do heavily into, writing a book or anything like that. But
yeah.
I do write out a gratitude list. I do write affirmations. At the end of the day, I write down what the best part of my day is, because even if you have 40 minutes of a situation that irritates you, you've got a whole day of
Yes.
positivity. So creating that momentum, I've been doing it for a while, has really had this, effect on me, to where anything that happens, it becomes like just a minor thing. I don't even sweat it.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I understand anxiety, like you said, feelings are valid. It's hard to tell someone to calm down when they've got this panic, because I know there's people who are panicking.
Absolutely.
One thing that's really helped me is imagine this scenario that you're worrying about, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's the sentence or the situation, the picture, visualize it and visualize it shrinking down. Because what that does is it gives you a sense of control of what's going on,
Yeah.
and not letting this situation or scenario, run you, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
So if money is what people are stressing out about, because a lot of people aren't getting paid the same way they were, or they're not
Yes.
working, just visualizing money getting, smaller, or control, or the problem getting smaller, or even just in an affirmation is, I am in control, I am great at saving money,
Yes.
creating these things into the universe and training the subconscious, are a couple of tricks that have helped me, and it's been really, really good. I've been following it pretty consistently. So
Yeah, I think I journal every single day as well, in the morning and in the evenings, and definitely, gratitude and appreciation, and, with intent and purpose, what is my purpose for that day? And I am going to piggyback on what you just said, which is, these situations that seem so big and we're trying to squish them down, and really remembering, what can we control?
yeah.
What can we control? And really that's our thoughts and what we say. What are we thinking, and what are we doing and saying? And if we can wrap our minds around those two things and really focus on, if on my control, I can't control what the governor does. I can't control the governor telling us to stay home, but I can control what I do while I'm at home.
Yep.
I can't control that, my job let me go, but what I can do is I can control applying for other jobs. I can control, maybe finding other work if I really want to. There's things that we can control and do, instead of sitting back and just having this fear overwhelm us and then consume us. And then, like you said, momentum, then that every single day piles up. Again, those feelings are valid and we can have those, but we kind of have to remember to go, okay, I had that feeling. What can I do about it? What can I think about it? Here's how I can move forward with those things. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, for sure. Okay, let's end on some fun stuff, Jess. I got a last few fun questions for you. You talked about being a little gamer earlier. So what is your favorite video game?
Oh, that's so hard. I've been playing so many. One of my favorites, it's not necessarily for a young crowd. It's called Dead by Daylight. It's 100% online, so the experience is different every time. So you're one of 4 survivors, or you get to be the killer. And as a survivor, your job is to fix 5 generators, find the exit, and just get out. As the killer, your job is obviously to find the survivors and kill them. So it's a good test to see if you'd ever survive a Jason movie or Texas Chainsaw Massacre situation. So it's a very high adrenaline game. So sometimes I will be screaming literally by myself because
it sounds like it. I think my palms are sweating just thinking about those situations. If you have a cheat meal, what is it?
Ooh, I love food. I'm such a foodie. But I'd have to say I love going to Umi. Like, I crave that sushi place. It's down in Kendall Yards. My favorite thing to get is the heart attack roll, as well as the General Tso's. It's not your typical, Chinese general styles that you can get from takeout. No. This is like good quality, spicy chicken, and it's just so good. I usually will eat half of it and then take the other half for the next day, so that way I fit it within my macros. But it's just, I could also smash it all in one if I really had to. So
my mouth's watering. I like that.
that.
I know you are a superhero fan as well. So tell me, who is your favorite superhero and why?
Well, we'll take the DC universe out of it because they don't have real superheroes. Looking into the Marvel universe, my favorite would have to be Spider-Man, because one, his personality, his humor, he's always perfect in the comics, and he's just that, kind of witty, really nerdy kid. Kind of feels like a little at home for myself.
Yes.
But if I really look at him, if you look at all the superheroes, he would be, in my opinion, the most like an athlete.
Yeah.
He's not flying through the skies. He doesn't have laser coming out of his eyes. He's just an acrobatic kid who got this super strength. He's super flexible, and he's got these spidey senses. Everything else that he has comes from a gadget that he made himself,
Yep.
So,
Yep.
But he's most like an athlete in his personality. I think that's why, for sure.
So did you cry in Avengers when he died?
We're not going to talk about it.
Okay. And what is something on your bucket list?
Something on my bucket list is actually to complete a marathon. Never thought I would say that. If you would ask me 4 years ago, I would have said no. I did sign up for the Wandemir. That was in May. It did get moved to September.
Yeah.
So I have a little extra time, as well as it's scheduled on a really important day for me. So now, again, going back to running with intentions and not just doing it to complete it.
Yes.
That little bit of suffering, I have now a purpose to get me through. So I'm really excited for it.
Well, awesome, Jess. Thank you so much for joining me today in Chance's Coffee Conversations. I really appreciate you. I hope everybody out there is, again, healthy, well. We miss you. I know Jess misses you as well.
Yeah.
We miss you guys so much. We can't wait to see you guys again in the gym. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep moving. Our Move Tribe, we love you again. We will see you soon. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.